All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I think I'm here. I think that my audio is working. My audio seems to be working, but it's the wrong one. There we go. Now my audio is slightly better. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DevTools and DevCools. My name's Andrew. I'm going to pull on my co-host for today's stream, Nick. Nick, how is it going today?
Hey, Andrew. It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I've stolen another office in our co-working space so that I have like a slightly better background than the many boxes of swag that are normally there.
Nice.
But yeah, doing good. How goes your work from home day today?
I'm actually working from the cottage today.
Oh, nice. Where is the cottage?
It's in Perry Sound.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it's Muskoka.
Nice cottage to be in. Well, I'm super excited that you streamed in all the way from the cottage for today. I'm super excited to be back again. I can't believe that. I'm sure this music is going to drive me crazy. I can't believe that it's already been like a month since we did this last time. And there's been so many cool DevTools and DevCooly things that have happened in that time. For anybody that's just tuning into this stream for the first time or catching this VOD, this is DevCools and DevTools, DevTools and DevCools. I'm not sure which order that technically goes in, but this is that stream. So on DevTools, we talk about cool DevTools. We talk about cool stories in the dev world, things that might interest you. We're actually going to explore some really popular things that are happening in the dev world. And there we go. Nick, can you kind of tell our viewers what we have in store for them today on our stream? Oh, we lost Nick. He has frozen. He has cut out. We'll see if he's going to come back. He might need to restart. While we're waiting for Nick to come back, if you're watching the stream right now, can you let us know how the audio sounds, how the video sounds, how is everything looking for you? Let us know. That's the background that I was looking for. Let us know how the stream is all working. There we go. So Nick is gone for the moment. He'll be back in just a second, though. If you are just tuning in, welcome to DevTools and DevCools, the stream where we look at the cool stuff you've seen and help you decode helpful from the hype. All right. Awesome. Perry Sound Internet. All right, so while we're waiting for Nick to get reconnected onto stream, I'll tell you a little bit about it. You might have seen this today. I'm just going to cover my face for 1 second with an overlay here. So you should still be able to hear me, though. Today's stream is looking at something that has been in the news a little bit recently, a brand new JavaScript runtime called Bun. We're going to be looking at Bun. We're going to be looking at another JavaScript runtime called Dino, and we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be having some fun. I love streaming with Nick because he always comes very prepared. So we've got a solid plan for today's stream when he comes back on. But while we do that, I'm going to pull up my screen here, close down some things that I don't want to share, and let's get our bun.sh stream page up here. Let's present this, share screen. All right, and let's share my Chrome tab. All right, so if you haven't seen Bun, this is Bun. This is what it's all about. And if nothing else, it is just a really fun logo, and branding is just next level. But this is kind of the hottest thing that's happening over in the world of social media right now. And actually, if you go over to Google, and I'll pull this up just so I can give you an idea of what this looks like. There is bun.sh. Yeah, I'm just going to show you like all of the news stories that have come up around this. Let's pull this up, share a different screen, full screen layout. No, I don't want that. Remove that for a second. Let's share a different screen. Oh, I think I can do it over here. Share this tab instead. Yes, and then add that to the stage. Yeah, so there's been so many news stories over the last week about this. So it's funny because this is actually like not all of this is news. Where's the most recent stuff? Past week. H. Yeah, so this is one of them that's there. So maybe it's just actually more over on social media that this has been like getting all the love, but definitely over on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it right now. Yeah, there we go. I love it. You can tell that I have been doing this on our. Oh shit! I'm sharing this over here. All right, let's pull this up. You can tell that I've been looking up bun stuff over the last little while, but yeah, there's just been a ton of fun things that have been in the news. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, just a ton of stuff around fun. So let's pull this back over here. Awesome. All right. Oh, sorry, I got lots of messages coming up. I need to mute all of these, put myself into focus mode. There we go. Yes. So like I said, we're going to be looking at 2 runtimes today. The first one that we're looking at is Bun, brand new. I don't know if I fully proved my point that there is lots of things that's going on in the news, but Bun, trust me when I say this, Bun is very hot right now. There's definitely some hype there. The other one, this has been around for a while, and this is Dino. And let me share Dino. So again, same kind of idea here. This is like JavaScript, 2 new JavaScript runtimes. And Dino, again, I gotta say, like the branding on these is actually kind of next level. It's super cute. And the nice thing here is that like both, I mean, obviously Dino's been around for a while, so it's being used by some of these major players. But both Bun and Dino are sort of like upgrade from Node.js. And we're actually going to be talking a little bit about that today. So if we look at kind of the run of show that we're going to go through, so we're going to do sort of a little bit of a deeper dive into what Bun is all about when Nick gets on. We're going to do a little bit more of an intro into Dino that I'm doing right now. We're then going to kind of compare them to Node, which is obviously a runtime that we all know and love, and then we're gonna do some live coding with you to see which works best. Excuse me. So we've got our Dino and Bun open. Let's I don't want to jump too far in without Nick here, so I'm just gonna kind of keep vamping as we go. And I feel like Dino had a fair bit of Dino versus Bun, and I feel like there's been a lot of conversations about this over the last little while. Yeah, so here's one. Actually, it's interesting. So Bun and Dino have both been up for a while, but let me share this. It was the Bun 1.0 announcement that had kind of made the news. But you can see here, there's been articles that have come out kind of about what we're talking about today, looking at sort of performance updates and changes and sort of how all of this stuff is working. And so just to kind of give you a preview of kind of some of the stuff that you're likely to see in the stream today around things like latencies. So like here's a great graph, and I'll actually share this Medium article in chat for anybody that wants to check it out. All right. And so like this is a comparison between the same things that we're going to be doing today live on stream. And so we have sort of these 3 different code samples that people are using, and then the measurements that are here. And you can see that sort of the response time is super, super low for Dino, fairly low for Bun. But again, the thing to keep in mind, and the big announcement that happened this week was around Bun moving to a 1.0. And so these were all kind of speeds that we were sitting very close to Dino at 1.3. And this was back in December. Oh, this is December of last year. Oh no, yes, we're 2022 now. So this is 2023. Yes, this was a year ago that we were looking at these comparisons. And so obviously with that move to 1.0, a lot of things have changed here. So we're going to do kind of a similar thing here, but we're going to have a little bit more fun with it. And you're going to get to kind of see this in real time rather than just reading it in a blog post. But we do have kind of a nice blog post that we have here if you want to kind of go and explore as we are working through here. And so while we're kind of waiting for Nick to jump on, I'm gonna jump into the actual announcement. So this was the big announcement that that came out this week around Bun. Let me share that screen again. Not that one, not that one. But yeah, so this was the big announcement that came out this week on the 8th, that Bun 1.0 was kind of finally live and production ready. So obviously this is a huge deal, especially for people that are using Bun in production already in sort of a non-stable version. This was a massive, massive announcement, some great upgrade, and then a big explanation in here on kind of why Bun actually exists and why it's here. And I think, like, honestly, this is a pretty solid description, right? Like, it wants to eliminate slowness, but sort of get rid of that complexity, and then but keep the things that people love or hate about JavaScript. So that's kind of the big announcement that really kicked things off with Bun this week. I wonder, I haven't actually looked, and maybe this is kind of our exploration time to see Bun versus Dino. I wonder if there's been any comparisons between Bun and Dino that come out in the last week. So let's take a look here. Anytime past week, Dino's done. Awesome, some Y Combinator stuff. There we go. Some thoughts here. So this will kind of like add a little bit of context for our stream today. All right, let's see. Yeah, so this is from 3 days ago, looking at latency stuff. So this is similar to what we were seeing before. So in that other article that we were looking at, and I think you're seeing what I'm seeing here. No, you're still seeing the docs there. Let's share this tab instead. So this was benchmarking that was sort of more recent. So this is with Bun 1.0 versus Node versus Dino. And so these are a little bit less complicated examples that we were looking at before. Like, these are really simple HTTP servers that are just like hello world. And so you can see here, so in that previous version, so let's go Dino versus Bun versus Node.js. Who's this one? Yes, so this one's from, so this was the one from 2022, so basically a year ago now. These were kind of the latency times that we were looking at, so around like 21 seconds, but these are a little bit heavier lift in terms of what they're actually doing. Similar though. But you can see here, like, these latency times for Dino have actually gone up, and the latency times for Bun seem to have gone down in terms of the actual switch there. So definitely there's definitely been a big performance bump for Bun, especially with this change that we have here. So we are still waiting for Nick to jump on the stream. So I think for just a second, because I can keep vamping a lot, but I think we're gonna just kind of go to break for just 1 second, and then we will be back with more DevTools and DevCools. So stay tuned, stay right here. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here on stream. Don't go anywhere, because we're super excited to kind of share a little bit more about our awesome exploration of Bun and Dino and Node.js today. So let's go on break, and we'll see you in just a couple minutes. are back. I feel your pain, Nick, but I love
I'm
that
so
you
sorry.
figured it out. No, don't apologize. It's all good. This was like my true test of like, does Andrew know what he's talking about for today's stream? So it's good. You know what? We actually looked at some latency graphs of like bun 0.5 versus the modern bun. We're gonna get to see this in real time, so I'll show you what I was showing them actually. So we're just
Okay, cool.
I didn't do a big run through, and I feel like you can maybe do this a little bit more justice, but just kind of did a really brief intro into the fact that why people are talking about Bun right now, Bun 1.0 being released this week, and sort of where it exists in this ecosystem with Dino and Node.js. And then we were looking at this article from December of last year, where they were doing a little bit of a benchmarking. So these aren't quite aligned. Like this one was serving images, and the other one's just a really basic HTTP server. But sort of like looking at sort of as we were in this Dino 1.3 Bun 0.5, we were still seeing Bun kind of taking a little bit more time. So like Dino was still sort of in the lead there. And now sort of with this shift and latency things have definitely shifted in favor of Bun now with Bun 1.0. And so again, not quite the exact same, like we're looking at HTTP servers and stuff like that here, but it does still give you this idea that there's been a big shift in these sort of 5 versions since 0.5 or however many versions have come out. But yeah, so from your perspective, Nick, why do these runtimes matter? So I introduced like Bun is a new runtime, newish runtime, Dino, new runtime. Why do we care about these? We have Node.js.
Yeah. So the thing that appeals to me the most so far about these is they kind of come like batteries included. So if you consider something like Node, like modern day landscape typically has you using TypeScript and then testing your code. If you're doing web stuff, you're probably going to be bundling it. And just covering those 3 things, that's going to require like a TypeScript compiler. It's going to require a test runner. So let's say like, are you still there? Okay. Sorry, I'm nervous that the signal's going to go down.
No, you're good. Yeah. Don't worry about it. We've got it covered. You're all
okay, cool. Yeah, so basically you got to worry about TSC or whatever compiler like SWC to get your TypeScript into JavaScript. You've got to worry about your testing framework. So let's say Jest, for example, or there's like VTest now, which is supposed to be faster than Jest. And then you've got to worry about bundling. So that typically involves like Webpack. And then in addition to that, you've got basically like ES modules versus common JS modules. And all of the jumping through hoops that you have to go through if you're trying to use like, let's say, ES modules over common JS modules. So what Bun can do specifically, Dino possibly, but I haven't gotten too deep into that yet, but Bun, it can handle all that on its own. So like, for example, today I was playing around with Bun. I was passing it like import statements. I was passing it require statements. It was not choking on any of them. I didn't have to install any test runner. It was just good to go. It was crazy fast, like the npm install or the npm install equivalent of it, mad fast. So it just, I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest, just from the small amount of time that I've spent looking at it. And I expect the same to exist with Dino. Basically, like Node's been around for a long time and it has a lot of baggage. And I think what these runtimes are offering is like kind of like a separation away from that baggage, hopefully without creating their own, which is something that tends to happen in the JavaScript community. Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great because I think this is the thing, right? It's like we all love the hype, right? It's awesome. New things come out, new versions come out. We all ride the hype wave and we go try it out. But like, is this actually worth our time to go and look at? And you're thinking, yeah, you think Bun, we should care about this right now.
I think so. Yeah, I care about it right now. It seems cool.
I love that. All right. So where do we want to start? Where do we want to start with today's stream? So we've kind of like, we've had a little bit of time. People know what we're talking about. They've got a little bit of idea why they should care. Do you want to jump into the docs? Do we want to do some coding? Like, what do you want to do to get things kicked off?
Let's start with just the homepage, if that's possible.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna get this up here. We're gonna go over here. Want to start with Bun or want to start with Dino?
Let's start with Bun.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We made it. Success.
Cool. All right, so the thing that it just said, the like all-in-one framework, that's kind of what I was covering. If you scroll down, it kind of shows you all the features that it offers. So it's a JavaScript runtime, drop-in node compatibility, it still works with node modules. It has an equivalent to npm install. It has web standard APIs. So for example, like I think I'm just making up the version when this came in, but Node struggled for a long time with like fetch. So there was like isomorphic fetch or isomorphic fetch and other alternatives, but you couldn't really use like the actual web standard APIs. Bun has it built in.
Wow.
Stuff like that.
Well built out for like such a young runtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
So it's got TypeScript support out of the box. Like you don't need to mess with the tsconfig unless you're doing something more advanced. So that was pretty cool. I was throwing JavaScript files at it and TypeScript files at it, and it didn't seem to care. So that was pretty great. If you keep scrolling, there's one quote on this page that I loved. I sent it on the marketing inspo channel. Yeah, keep going. Oh yeah, these speed comparisons are pretty nuts there for npm install. Scroll up. Just yeah, there. So
that's wild.
That's
wild. I'm interested to test this. So I decided not to even touch Bun. I went through the docs, but I didn't install it because I wanted to show like in real time what this looks like today for like getting these things set up. So I love that.
Okay.
Where was it?
Oh, there. Sorry, scroll up. The thing about the testing, the header of this section. There. Bun is a test runner that makes the rest look like test walkers. I love that line. It's just telling you like how quickly it can actually get through things. So right now, Jest has a lot of trouble with ES modules. So what they're kind of showing you there is the hoops you have to go through to get Jest to even work with them, if it's even capable of it. But like everyone is still using Jest. There's a whole lot of Jest going around right now. But with Bun, you don't need to worry about that. So it just simplifies things a lot for you. Granted, it simplifies things a lot for you with a greenfield project. I'm not sure what kind of damage it would do if you tried to drop it into a legacy project.
Yeah, did you play around? Because I know we talked earlier this week about some folks trying to drop it into some of our repos. Did anybody end up doing it?
I don't think we did.
Probably.
But like I'm sure it's coming.
I'm sure it is coming too. So I love this. So the other thing I will say I love about Bun so far is their docs and their marketing page are just like really well structured, like, and giving you some like powerful examples of like seeing how it works. Where's the example? There's like one of their, is it in docs or is it here? I think it was over in docs where they actually like, you can get started by learning how to do it with like building a Discord bot and like,
oh yeah.
Like these are just like powerful use cases that are not things you normally see, right? And like the getting started docs for these frameworks, like or for these runtimes, there's not. So and easy, like this is nothing. This is nothing, anyways. Yeah. So do we want to go look at Dino, or do we want to like jump in and actually start playing around with Bun?
Let's do a quick little demo of Bun.
All right.
I think, and then we'll go into Dino.
Sick. All right, so let's get, I'm going to make sure that I've got all of my things closed down because I'm going to do a full screen share. Okay, that I'm going to keep open, that I'm going to close, that I'm going to close, that I definitely want to close, that I probably want to close, definitely want to close that. All of these things you do not want to share on the live stream. All right, close you. I think that's all the important things that I can dox myself with. All right, and let's share, pull that down, present, stop screen, stop sharing. There we go, share screen, entire screen, there we go. All right, and perfect. All right, here we are. So let's do a new, we got to go over to our docs actually. So I'm gonna have to hide that. And I need this curl. All right, let's install bun. All right, let's head over to VS Code. Let's do a new folder. Where am I right now? Do I want to go in touch? First Dino. And create that. Oh, I just created a file.
Yeah, so Touch is going to make a file to create a new folder. You're just going to do make dir, so mkdir, or that might work too. What you're trying.
Let's see, no such file or directory. Can you do it?
mkdir, and then bun vs Dino. Yeah. Oh yeah. So the file still exists. You have to delete the file first.
Of course I do.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, here we go. Touch index.tsx. All right, let's go into that folder. Beautiful, yeah. Trust the author. It's me. All right, perfect. So let's install bun. Let's get this going here and see how this goes. Now I ran into this issue before where oh, perfect, it's working again. Look at how speedy that was. I love that. Beautiful. All right, the hard work is done. Now it's just copy and paste. All right, and when we say this, copy and paste what we're going to see. All right, and let's.
So, do you see the export commands that it's outputting in your terminal?
There we go. Yeah. And
so if you just run those now, then you'll be able to use bun in this terminal. If you add them to your ZSHRC, then you'll be able to do it in any terminal.
Well, let's just do it. Let's just add it there.
Okay.
Installed. Copy these. No. I don't actually know if I'm running. We'll find out.
If you're running ZSH?
Yeah, I think I'm not, but I'll find
out. Yeah, and then you'll need to source it. So just type source space, and then the path to your ZSHRC file. And that's just telling your terminal, like, okay, reload this. Now try bun. There you go. So now if you open a new terminal, it will source that automatically, and you should be able to have bun available wherever.
Hey, there we go. Nice.
Sweet.
We got there. That was awesome. That was very fast. It was very fast. I like
Yeah.
it, but I feel like we're not really, truly testing the power of bun right now.
Right. You're not really asking it to do a whole lot. And then there's two directions here. Like there's kind of the benchmarking of its performance capabilities, and then there's also just kind of the developer experience of using it. I was pretty intrigued by the developer experience. I think the performance, like just on the right there, the server side rendering React, it seems to be suggesting that it's pretty fast.
Yeah, I do say like that was a very smooth process to even just get it set up. I mean, but again, this sort of starts that way. It always starts that way. It's really easy, but it doesn't continue to be easy. So now we've got something working in bun. Do we want to try and do the same thing in Dino?
In a second. First, I want to show you something else. So, okay, if you go back to VS Code,
yeah,
make a new file called I don't know, bun.ts or whatever.ts. Okay, so now this is going to be a TypeScript file, right?
Yeah.
But we've done nothing to actually set up TypeScript. And let's export a function called add that is just a function that's going to add 2 numbers. So that would be export const space add equals, yeah, there you go. So it's got it. Yeah, and then you can save that. And then we can write a test for it. So make a file called bun.test.ts. Okay, and
hold on. Let's go. All right, and
cool. And here you're just gonna. Are you familiar with like common test assertion?
Just assume that I know nothing technical at all, Nick. Assume
Okay.
that I am imagine that I've never touched TypeScript outside of this job.
All right, so we're going to write a spec. So let's just type it, so it, and then in brackets with a single quote, we're going to describe, in parentheses, we're going to describe what we expect this to do. So let's say like it adds 2 and 3 together to make 5. Yeah, and then you can just follow its lead on that one. Delete those extra 2 characters. Yeah, and let's not follow Copilot too closely here. So right after your fat arrow, just delete everything. Yeah, and then after the curly brace, hit enter. Okay, so what this is saying is like, so there's a function called it, and it takes 2 parameters. It takes a string that describes what it's doing, and then it takes a callback. So what you're doing after the comma here, this is your callback. So this is the code that it's actually going to run and test it. So here, just type expect. Yeah, and then in brackets, type, you're going to need to import your add function from bun.ts.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, there you go. It's got it. Add 2, 3 to be 5.
Right. We good?
Yeah, let's try that. So then save that. Get rid of that funny character.
There we go.
Okay, and then in your terminal, type bun test. There.
There we go. Damn.
Okay, so the crazy thing here is like if you look at bun.ts, this is TypeScript, right? Like if you just ran this with Node, it wouldn't know what to do. It would choke. You're then writing a test without Jest, without any kind of test runner. It's interpreting the TypeScript just fine. Bun has the test runner built in. So like, just like that, you've made a TypeScript file and you've written a TypeScript test that tests the TypeScript file without doing anything, right?
It's so funny too, though, because this feels, and maybe this is part of the piece, maybe this is part of the magic. This feels like what it should feel like. You know what I mean? Like this feels like what every runtime should do.
Yeah, it's kind of the dream. Like JavaScript developers have been putting up with a lot of nonsense for a long time, just trying to keep up with everything. Like, but hey, it's the price of progress. So luckily there's things like these runtimes that force other things like Node to step up.
Yeah. Now, do you think that this is actually? So I'd be curious to see what this looks like in Node, but I feel like we would need a whole stream just to do that.
No. Actually, you can just type node bun.ts in your terminal, and it'll just fall apart.
No. There you go. Go. It certainly did fall apart.
And that's not even because of TypeScript. Like it's immediately just choking on the ESM syntax.
Yeah. That's so interesting that this is something that was not So I mean, you've been around the JavaScript community for a while. Is this something that is being addressed in like the Node.js developer community? Like they're trying to do some of these things that Bun is doing, or is this just like the Node community has said we don't care about this? It's just not a thing that we're going to be able to solve. It's not a hill we want to die.
With the ESM and the CommonJS stuff, like
Yeah,
they're certainly trying to. There's a very long post that Adam, our chief architect at DevCycle, keeps posting and asking people to read.
when is that post? Do you remember?
I can dig it up.
No, it's okay.
You can vamp for a minute. I'll get it for you.
All right. Yeah. See if you can find it because I think that's super interesting. I mean, listen, it's funny, right? So so it's interesting. I was using Node for a lot of things for a long time, and I think I have been. But for me, and maybe this is just because I'm not just like so into the Node ecosystem that Node is just a tool that gets me from point A to point B, more than it's a thing that I'm really caring too much about. But now that I'm seeing how fast and smooth Bun is, I almost am glad that I didn't spend a lot of time caring about Node.js because I feel like I'm not going to be using it. I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be using it. If the platform can live up to this hype and can continue to go at this speed and smoothness, it would be hard to say like, oh yeah, I'm going to use Node. But I mean, I was doing the same thing like Vite, but Vite is still using Node. Anyways, not important. But did you find the article?
Yeah, I sent it to you in the private chat.
Sick. All right, let me pull that up here. Let's pull that off for a second and pull this up over here. And let's share this again. All right, here we go. Let's hide this. You don't need to see that.
So this is you can see how long the article is by how small the
I know.
hook on the scroll bar is. but it's basically explaining like the history of modules in JavaScript.
Oh, wow.
Why any of these solutions even needed to be created and like how they were created over time and the problems that have been introduced since. So, I mean, we're not going to get through this whole thing, but to answer your question, like, yes, people are thinking about it. And I'm not sure that I wouldn't even say that Bun has solved it, but I think Bun has found a way to like reduce some friction. So another thing you can do with Bun that if you want to do another kind of like Cody demo is you can mix up like import statements and const require statements,
All right,
which is something that, sure. And in this case, let's do a .js file just to not cheat. So like, yeah, sure. And here, so the example I was doing is like, let's install Ramda. So like that would be Bun install Ramda, RAMDA. And then did you see how fast that was?
Yeah, that was wildly fast. And I mean, everything is fast though on an M1 Pro, but like that was ridiculously fast. Like 300 milliseconds to install a package. That's wild.
Yeah. And now do Bun install Lodash. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now you've got these two packages. It barely felt like anything just installing them. Not that they're huge.
No, but still.
Yeah, so okay, so let's import Ramda. So that would be import star as capital R from single quote Ramda. Okay, and then let's do export const. And we'll do add again. Equals r dot add. Oh, sorry, equals like fat arrow syntax. So equals parentheses a comma b. That will work technically. Oh no, okay. So just delete that. So instead of fat arrow there, just do an equals space parentheses. Just a bracket. A comma B. There you go. That's what we want. Except the A plus B, let's just do R dot add. So capital R dot add. And then A comma B. Yeah, and just get rid of the space between add and so like Ramda, just like Lodash, it's just utility functions. It's more functional than Lodash. So like you could do r.add bracket A and then bracket B, but we're not going to bother with that. But you can run this with bun if you save it. So just bun.js, I guess. Oh, yeah, actually make it do something. So console log add 2 + 3 or 2 and 3. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. One more bracket.
Oh, one more bracket.
Yeah.
All right, sick. All right, and let's do it now. Okay, there we go.
Cool.
Nice.
So now we've got 5, right? So now do node bun.js. Yeah, doesn't like that. So for this to work, we'd have to tell it that we're using like we're using ES modules. So we'd need to update package.json to say type module, or we'd have to use like the or use an extension MJS. So we don't have to do that now. But then
that's amazing.
Yeah, and what Node does want us to do instead in bun.js is do like const r equals require Ramda rather than import. But the cool thing is in bun.js, we can use that syntax to bring in Lodash just for kicks. So like you can have an import and a const. Not that you ever really would, but like bun's cool with that too.
But you can. I feel like this is okay. So it's so interesting that one of the things that makes programming, one of the things that makes coding so exciting is you can do anything, right? And now we've moved from being able to do anything with no kind of tests and ability to do things in a proper, safe way. And we kind of have gone this other way where there's constant tests and all of these things. But then with that, you're needing all of this additional infrastructure and time and lift. And this seems to have found both of these worlds. You have the ability to do things in a much more sort of open way without needing to worry about all of those extra infrastructure pieces, but it's safe. It's giving you all the benefits of the safety, but lets you feel like you're doing this without being. Does that make sense? Does that track?
Yeah, it's saving you a whole lot of work. Like the frustrating thing about JavaScript development for the last 5-10 years is like just to get a project going, unless you're using a boilerplate, you've got like probably hours of just toil ahead of you, like setting up your TS config, setting up your just config, setting up Webpack. Like no one actually likes doing that ever. But things like this kind of mean that you don't have to anymore.
Damn, I love this. All right,
and you can get straight to coding, which is just nice.
I love this. All right, we're gonna put these bun things in a folder because we're gonna do some of this stuff with Dino, I think, too. So let's toss you guys in here, and then let's toss that node modules in there too. We're gonna create a update imports for node modules. Yes, sure.
That one might bite you.
That one's definitely gonna bite me as I look at things. It's all right. We're gonna just ignore. We're done with bun for right now. So
yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Just ignore what just happened. Yeah, definitely gonna bite. You know what I'm gonna do? Oh, geez, yeah, that definitely is. It's not happy with me right now. Hold on, let's close saved. It is very much not happy with me right now. Let's see what's going on. We're gonna close this for a second, and then we're gonna reopen it. We're gonna do the old turn it on and off again, and see if that saves us or does bad things. I just did a thing that I shouldn't have done. So if you're watching the stream, don't do what I just did. It seems like a good idea, but it's really, really not. Oh, all right. We're just gonna ignore that now. And do we want to go and do this in Dino too, or what?
Yeah, I would. I'm kind of intrigued by that, but I figured let's go through the same steps. Like let's check out Dino's homepage. See what kind of stuff they're claiming. Now, Dino, I think, like I heard of Dino long before I heard of Bun, and I don't know if that's because one existed before the other. It's just circumstance of when I heard about it. But Dino was like, I think it was TypeScript first, and like, hey, we figured out how to make Node better, or like we're a better alternative to Node. And then they were kind of competing in the worker space, like the Cloudflare worker space, with like some serverless stuff that was kind of intriguing.
I
And
mean,
they also have a like a web app framework called Fresh that I forgot about until this morning. But
there you go. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love it. All right. So this is making less claims. That's good. But not what we're here for. We're here for all of the claims. I love they're not making any bun claims yet. They're like, they don't matter enough to us yet. But let's we're not
they did have a lot of examples there.
They did have a lot of examples, so I feel like we can probably steal one of those examples. But do they have my simple install example that we got before? Not there.
Oh, like the curl?
Yeah. What did I
believe they do. It might be at the very bottom. Oh, they might not have it on their homepage.
I really like the fact that it was on the homepage. That was actually very handy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because especially if it's one line, like why not just install it right away?
Yeah. All right, let's do it. All right.
I did notice though that Dino has brew install in addition to the curl, whereas it looked like Bun only had curl.
But at the end of the day, I feel like a curl is. Why would you not use a curl? I don't understand. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to just use curl.
I think if you wanted to like manage it with Homebrew,
fair enough.
Like whatever that means in addition to just brew install, I'm not quite sure, but.
All right, and let's add this again. Where are you hiding? Oh, there we go. I got a question for you, Nick. And this is just like a very preference-y question. Do you use Nano or do you use Vim?
I use Vim for this kind of stuff.
I feel like that Vim is like the sign of a true programmer, and Nano is the sign of I followed a tutorial online.
I only use Vim for like editing this type of file, or like doing like a rebase, like an interactive rebase with Git. I have very particular things that I use Vim for, and I'm no expert with Vim by any means. Like I'm not one of those people that can just like fly with their keyboard.
All right, so we got Dino. It's installed. We're there. Now we got our curl created and run a TypeScript program. All right, let's do that. Let's pull this TypeScript program. All right, let's go. What did we call this? What are we calling it? We're calling it .ps. How creative and imaginative. Beautiful. And we've also got to jump in here and let's see. So we should get, module not found. What's going on here? No, I'm in the right place. So we're already hitting errors with Dino, but I feel like it's probably.
Yeah, I think hello.ts isn't inside your Dino folder.
You know what? Somebody should tell whoever's producing this show that they really need to get their stuff together, because things just happen. There we go. It works.
I saw recently actually someone had shared on Twitter, I think, like or X, their settings for making that tree like a lot more visible. So like it'll actually set up like vertical lines for you.
That's handy.
Adds more padding to the indents.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with like a huge number of files. You know, I did this. So I've been streaming with Will, the DevRel from One Signal, doing some stuff. And God love you, talented software engineers, for your patience with me. But I did that, but I installed Node.js and I installed a Node module. I don't even know where on my computer. I still need to find where I installed this Node module, because I'll someday find it when I'm going somewhere. But, anyways, all right. So we got Dino working. It's up. It's going. Do we want to do that same kind of a test Like, let's go see what writing a test in here looks like.
Did you actually get it to run?
Yeah, so it ran. So hold on.
Oh yeah,
so
there it is.
Let's
Okay.
zoom in here a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So this was just a hello Ada. I mean, what did we do in Bun.js? I feel like we were doing something. They had a good example for this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so let's see. I feel like they must have a web. They must have an example of a simple web server on here. This was just their quick start. First steps, and I feel like it might have been over on. All right. I feel like we had a web server one. Here we go. HTTP server. Hello world. Yes. Yes. And we got writing a test there too. So let's try this. And let's not do it in here. Let's do a new file. We're going to call this index.ts. Oh, ts. And run this. See if it actually works. No, they did the same thing again. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. It happened already to you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's see if this runs. There we go. May still not run, actually. Oh, no, there we go.
There you go.
Yes, I think I might actually still have my. No, I must have killed my other. Oh, I did because I shut it down. There we go. Nice. All right. So fairly easy. Fairly easy to get both these up. And let's go test. And I love here that they actually gave an example over on the Dino writing a test. Dang, it's a little bit of a bigger test, but let's toss it over in here and call it test. .ts where you hide in folder test.ts.
Did you see what you just did?
Yes, I did. I definitely saw it before you said that. Let's run this test. All right, hide in here. Let's close that. All right. Failing. Why are you failing?
Okay. So this is a thing that I read about Dino. They are very security minded. So what it's doing here is it's saying like it's trying to read a file because you told it to, but it's not actually allowed. You haven't given it permission to read that file.
Okay. Yeah, so we should actually maybe should have looked at the test that I had in here. So what was our test actually doing in here? Let's get rid of that for a second. Yeah. So it needed to open this example.txt file, which doesn't exist. What if I add that in there? I know I just did it again.
Yeah, it's weird though because it looked like you right-clicked the folder, so I don't know why it's not actually going in there.
I blame streaming. All right, let's see if that works this time. All right. No, still failing.
I bet you it'll be the same error, right?
Yeah,
so it's not complaining that the file doesn't exist, although I'm sure it would have the first time, but it's complaining that it doesn't have permission to read it. So it says to run it again with the allow read flag. Allow dash read. Okay, what now?
Allow write. Oh, so allow read, allow write.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then sample.txt, run again with allow write. Did I not?
Yeah, that worked, I think.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the other test failed. Okay, so that did it. Interesting. So yeah, very, very, very security conscious, which is good. I feel like that's not a bad thing, right? But I have a feeling that Bun is probably doing the same thing in the background with less errors that it's throwing up at you.
It may not be as explicit though. Like I think this is something that's very important to Dino that may not be for Bun.
Now I do wonder. Hold on, and maybe this doesn't matter because it was just a test. But let me see now. It didn't even need that file to be there. Interesting. Okay.
Oh,
so,
I think it's because you have create true. So it's probably like it probably tries to open the file, but if it doesn't exist, it creates it.
yeah. Yep. I love that. All right. So this.
Actually, can we try something for kicks? Delete
Yeah.
example.txt.
Yeah, and then change that to false.
No, just leave it. I bet you, or what I would assume is going to happen is it's going to not work, and it's going to tell you it needs an allow create.
I don't think so. I think it's going to create it because I did this last time. I just created the example text. I deleted it, and then it's throwing it up in here with the hello world. So it is actually creating.
All right.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like it needs the allow read and allow write, but it didn't need the allow create. That's an interesting take. I mean, so that's good. I mean, it works. Definitely a little bit more like needing to work through some errors there, but also like, well, like the actual errors are giving you solutions. So I like that as well. Well done, Dino. Not quite as smooth as Bun. I definitely feel like this screams I am JavaScript to me, whereas Bun screams I am the only programming language you'll ever need for the rest of your life. And the only runtime you'll ever use.
It is worth pointing out, Dino, because it is more mature than Bun, it offers more than Bun does. Okay. So like there's Dino deploy. So they have like a Dino deploy dashboard. So I think that's basically like you can host stuff there. They have KV, so they have a key value store, which from what I understand, that works locally, and I think if you pay, it works remotely, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, like key value stores are handy, especially for serverless applications.
Yeah.
Because you need somewhere to put your data. Yeah, this kind of stuff like Bun doesn't quite have, because Bun seems to be focusing more on the runtime itself than like the entire like environment where it might live. Yeah,
there's a lot. This ecosystem, yeah, you're not wrong at all. This is such a mature ecosystem. But why did it come out? That's my curious one. Dino release date, Dino launch date, 2018, and then
that's
Dino
for 1.0.
For 1.0. No. I think the initial release date, 1.0, was right in the pandemic. People had some free time. All right. Yeah. And when did I feel like Bun was their initial launch day? I feel like it might have been similar. So done. Let's do one. Dune 2. Yeah, by the way, Dune 2 coming out soon. Bun 0.7.1. Create better. Oh, in inception early 2021. Yeah, so it's got like three, but Dino's got like 3 years on Bun. And then what's Node? Node's been around. Yeah.
That's a long time.
What do you think? Take a guess. What's the year, do you think?
2007?
2007. Ooh, so close. 2009. Okay. But so obviously Node's been around for a while, but I do like, you made a very valid point. I think like there's a lot of baggage that a lot of these frameworks and ecosystems and tools and runtimes carry with them. And so Bun and Dino may also develop a lot of that baggage as well, but they don't have them right now, which is nice. Yep. All right, I love it. Okay, so we got things working. Definitely the Bun was a little bit of a nicer process, but Dino also very smooth. So what are we going to do with these?
That's a good question. Let me see. So there was something I was playing with. So what I wanted to do, and it didn't end up working out in the end, but apparently that makes for good stream fodder.
There you go.
Is I wanted to make one file, like basically just a JavaScript file that a server could run, that can both host and play a game of rock, paper, scissors. And so then we would run that file in Bun on like port 3000, and we would run it in Dino on port 4000, and we would just have them fight. I've been working hard with ChatGPT today to get this right. And
how did that go? I feel like this is the moment where you take on screen share and show your ChatGPT. Did it work out?
Yeah, like once, and then it kind of started falling apart. Let me try something off stream quick.
These are the joys. So if you're just tuning in, we are playing around with Dino and Bun, just exploring these two tools. We're gonna see if we can put them head to head. I mean, even right now head to head, I think I definitely see why Bun is winning in this race right now. I don't even want to do any of those things with Node.js just because it seems like it would be too much. But I mean, both of these frameworks are good, but Bun is definitely the more expeditious of the runtimes that is out there right now.
Okay. Yeah, let's just share my screen and see what we can do.
All right.
Now I haven't done this yet, so I don't really know how.
Just share screen. So you're gonna have to. It'll probably kick you off again. So do the present thing. There's like a bottom of the screen muse.cam sharing present, and then it'll be like you need permissions because we are on Macs. And so do that. You can disappear. I'll vamp for a minute.
Okay.
And then you can come back and be live. And share your screen. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I do just want to tell people, so we are obviously talking about our dev tools right now, but we are also going to talk about some DevTools to end off the show, some cool things in the world of tech news. And there are, trust me, outside of the Bun and Dino debate and things that are going on in this world, there are a lot of interesting things going on in the tech world. It is like a moment for open source right now versus the world of industry and capitalism. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So some cool news things coming up in just a minute. Did it work? Oh, you don't need to go anywhere. There we go. Nice. All right, you're up. You're live. Aaron.
Okay. So you can see this.
Yes, we can see it.
Cool. All right. So I just got this code from my buddy ChatGPT over here. So we're going to see if this works. I'm already kind of overwhelmed by what it's trying to do here. This seems kind of like a confusing way to go about it. Yeah, pure server. Hold on, let me take a stab at this. It's weird that I can't see your face now.
It's all right. I'm here. I'm watching. To be honest with you, while I love streaming on multiple devices and multiple screens, I also kind of the sheer dread and joy of just like working on your computer while you know that there are people watching you out there. Maybe that's just me. I do love your color palette, by the way. This is
thanks.
Very nice.
Is it? It's a bearded theme Altica.
I love that.
I like to mix it up every once in a while, so I just download a bunch and go from one to the other.
Nice.
Okay, so let's say if port is 3000, then we're going to want, oh, wait, that's not right. If port is equal to 3000, then we want this to be 4000 and this to be 3000. Okay, let's see if that works. So we're going to pass in a port. Default's going to be 3000, and then we're going to start up another server, pass in a port of 4000. And yeah, if one server is 3000, it'll know and it'll look for 4000 as its peer and vice versa. Cool. Let's see, peer server. Is text big enough? Should it be bigger?
That's fine. It was fine before, but that's better. That's better.
Cool. Let's clear that. Clear that. Okie doke. Let's give it a shot. So let's try this with Bun. I know it's going to default to 3000, but just to be explicit, talk about good file names. It's abc.js.
Solid file names.
Yep. Oh, also, let's get rid of E. That's the slimmest package.json I've ever seen. That's kind of neat too. Anyway, let's just save, close, delete. So we need Express and we need Axios according to this. So let's do run install Express Axios.
God, that was fast.
Yeah, I think that's because it's cached because I had already gotten them. But
I know, but we're just gonna say that it's because Bun is just ridiculously efficient.
Yeah, pretty nuts. Okay, clear this again. So port 3000 on abc.js.
Okay.
1000 on abc.js. Now, does anything actually happen? Oh, got it. Okay. So I have to go to. Huh?
Go to
I think
where
it's
it
a
started.
web server.
Come on, ChatGPT. That was a flex. That was. Oh, there we go. That's awesome.
Okay, so what did it even do? Let's see what happens if I kill this. I see. Yeah, a good way to understand things is just to turn everything off and see what breaks.
There you go. And everything broke.
Helpful. So let's see if we just turn this on.
Okay, so it's still pulling off of one port for both.
See if we just do this one. All right. So it looks like 4000 is doing nothing.
Port peer server, start. Peer server.
Oh, what about, okay.
Get random choice, try, data choice 2, wait, get peer server, play. Winner.
Choice.
Status.
Just do this. Yeah, okay, so that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be on 4000.
Yeah.
If a localhost port equals 3000.
But if port is 3000, then shouldn't peer server be 4000? What am I doing wrong here?
If that equals. Try switch it. No, because that's saying if port equals 3000, then be 4000, otherwise be 3000. Switch them and just see what happens. Like switch the ternary logic and see what happens.
Okay. Hey, look at you.
We did it. We got there. See, like I said, just imagine that I have no technical skills, but sometimes if it's just a simple ternary, is that giving it? Nice. Okay.
Yeah, because if I shut down one of the servers, then it no longer works.
Sick.
Sweet. Okay,
Awesome.
so that's kind of cheating though, because this is bun running against bun.
But
so we want bun against Dino, and I'll be honest, I don't even have Dino installed, so let's do that. Oh, but remember that we can do brew, so let's do brew install Dino.
I was gonna say the real test here is, can we get a live web server up and running so we can compete two computers, one running Dino, one running Bun. But no, that's not for this stream. That is not for this stream.
Oh, like my computer against yours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be neat.
We could do it, do like some localhost tunneling, but I feel this is a big lift.
Some ngrok.
You know what? So I used to love ngrok, and then ngrok was being misused, and so they have become a little bit harder to use as a tool. But I mean, as an admin, like, I like it in that there's more security around it. I dislike it in that it is less easy for me to actually use on like an ad hoc basis. But I suppose that is my problem. But it's a solve. But
yeah, this brew install is taking a while. This makes for good stream content, right?
It does make for, it's brilliant stream, but there are things on a screen. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, but there is a, do you know when you watch those old hacker movies where there's like the like, it's basically just like a terminal and it's like displaying a bunch of just like random code. Apparently that is like, is it a program that somebody wrote that just does that and like companies buy it for their hacker movies and it's not actually doing anything at all?
Yeah.
But if we showed this, people would be like, what is happening? I don't understand. Why is it installing so much? Did you already do? Oh, and you're just going to run literally the same file, hopefully with as few errors as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
We got
that. May have worked. Dino. Okay. That's a rebel. Let's get out of here. Okay, so what was the command to actually run it? What was the one that you had done? It had a
Oh, it was
dash A in it?
Yeah, it was like Dino run -A. It's just, yeah.
Do we know what the dash A is? I was
I
curious
have
about
no
that.
clue. I have no clue. I'm assuming it's all, but that's a poor assumption.
Could be. Now I wonder, because Dino is TypeScript first, I wonder if it's going to complain that this is not TypeScript. I wonder if this
Let's
might
find
do
it.
like the opposite of the bun node problem. All right, Dino, run -a abc.js, and we need to give it the port.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, well, good news is Bun can handle TypeScript no problem. And it can handle requires, but we can't have requires. So let's just flip this. Here.
By the way, we will we'll make, if you're watching the stream and you're like, oh, I'd like to try this out, we'll make this code available. I'll work with Nick, and next week we'll make this repo available for people to try out our bot that works on Dino and Bun. You can test it out yourself if it works.
Weird. Okay, that's strange.
TypeScript. See this. It just didn't program in TypeScript.
That's not a TypeScript thing. This is like Dino doesn't seem to
Oh, it doesn't understand the env file? All right, we lost Nick. That's okay. He'll be back in just a second. So we are, I'm just going to pull that
end.
off. Oh, there we go. He's back. He's kind of back. He's nearly there. We're all good. There we go. It's coming back. We might get there. Either way, we've gotten pretty far. We've been able to get Dino out. We've been able to get a Bun app actually out and functioning. Like, we have accomplished a fair bit on today's stream. So even if this is the moment that the Wi-Fi cuts out, like, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm super freaking impressed at what we were able to accomplish. And it just means that we're gonna have to do this again in the very near future to kind of finish this off. But Nick might be able to come back. He was able to get back last time. So we'll stay tuned for a second while we wait for him to come back. But as we're waiting for Nick to come back and seeing if that's actually going to happen, I did promise that I was going to talk about some of our DevCools. So let me pull these up here. These are just some things that I came across and I thought these were interesting. Nick really did all the work on the DevTools, and so I feel like it was high time that I contributed something to these streams. So let's see if I can share my screen here. Share screen. We'll go entire screen, Chrome tab. There we go. All right. So here we go. In the news right now, like I said, there's been a couple of big things that have been happening. Would love to know if this is of interest to you, but just sort of like bringing this up to your attention of things that are happening in the tech world right now. So anybody that knows what Unity is, so there's been a new announcement on a change in pricing model for the Unity engine, where there's going to be a pay per install model that's potentially coming. This is big news. There's a lot of popular games that have been built on this game engine, and so this has kind of shaken up the gaming industry as people are trying to figure out like how they're going to build moving forward. So I think this is interesting, especially because I'm 99% sure that Unity is an open, and I'll share this article with folks as well if you're interested in checking this out. Share it in chat. There we go. Yes, this is obviously really big news of things that are going on. But again, this is really only meant to impact, and I think the goal here was it was only ever meant to impact folks that are making serious money with their game. But it's definitely got some other people concerned, and I guess rightfully so, whether this is actually going to come, and I think this is going to shift and change, but definitely is a big thing that's I think on a lot of people's radar right now, especially after this other piece of kind of tech news that came out. And this was a big topic at KubeCon last week because there was Kelsey Hightower, and this question came up to him. So Kelsey Hightower is I think one of the creators of Kubernetes. And so, Nick's back. We got him. We're here. Hello.
Hi again.
How you doing?
Sorry about that.
No,
good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you are all good.
Okay, cool.
Do we want to go back? Do you want to share your screen again?
You can keep doing what you're doing. When my internet was down, I couldn't figure out how to do the environment variables anyway, so I'm just going to look into that quick.
Awesome. So that this Unity thing, like I said before, ties in very much to this kind of shift. And so HashiCorp has changed their license for Terraform. Again, for most of the people that are in the world, and if you're a developer, maybe you've never even heard of Terraform, you have no idea what it is. But now, because of the license change in the Terraform community, there's now this sort of splinter group, and I think everybody's calling it the splinter group right now, has sort of launched this open Terraform concept idea. They forked the original HashiCorp Terraform. And I mean, if you kind of wander the depths of the internet right now, especially the open source and sort of Kubernetes world and sort of cloud native CNCF stuff, there's lots of conversations happening around this right now, and this shifted licenses. I feel like this is the time we're entering into economic downturn, big companies that had a lot of money before needing to kind of shift the way that they're make sure that they stay out of the red. And so these things are shifting, whether it's going to stay or not, especially with this public backlash. But unfortunately, one of the downsides is just when you have public backlash, it does kind of hurt. And so I mean, I'm not sure where this is going to land at the end, but definitely an interesting thing. And I mean, speaking of interesting tech news that has it's another sort of a large company versus regular developer. This was a little bit sillier because I realized that like Unity is huge and Terraform and HashiCorp are huge. But for anybody that uses Slack in their day-to-day job, you may have noticed that there's been a redesign on Slack. You may love it, you may hate it. I'm a fan actually. I like these new UI updates. I think that like you gotta keep product teams working, right? So gotta update these UIs every once in a while. But already, and I think they've been rolling this out for the last little while, Slack revert. So there is, and I think it must only be running in like not the desktop version, but like the browser version, and then you can set it up as a desktop app. But there is actually like a new Firefox add-on that actually disables the new client for Slack and lets you like get the old UX back. And I do love software engineers. I love software developers. Just want to stick around in this very, oh, you're not seeing this right now. Hold on, let me share the screen, share this tab. We all do live in this world where we don't necessarily want to change tools all the time and don't necessarily love tools that do change on us. And so this is, this is just, I think it's kind of an interesting shift, an interesting change, a nice little tool that somebody's created. I wonder if they actually have are they linking to the source code? I'm interested in what this looks like. No. Can I actually see? No, I don't want to download the file. Yeah, I don't really want to get that. But anyway, so this has come out, already got some 5-star reviews, which I think speaks to the fact that not everybody is super happy with the Slack UI change, but there we are. Definitely a very cool, interesting change and shift there. And so I don't know about y'all, but I love when these new changes come out, because you're always seeing a lot of news that's kind of coming out of these things. And so, be it good news, be it bad news, it's definitely news news that's going on out there. So, I mean, really, the big focus of kind of this part of the show is we really just want to kind of like go through hacker news and share some of our favorite things. And so, if you're on the stream and you don't know what hacker news is, how you ended up here. Just linking Hacker News in there. And so some great articles in here. DevCycle's actually appeared on Hacker News a couple of times. So you should definitely check that out. Yeah, and like I said, lots of really interesting stuff in here. There's actually a lot of other stories. There's some really interesting things that are coming up about a lot of larger companies, as well as a lot of smaller ones and new startups that are coming out. But check out Hacker News. Those are just kind of some of my favorite kind of things that are happening right now. But obviously, there's a lot more. Nick's back. Welcome back, Nick. Nick, the quiet. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
I am such an amateur. Go to the cottage for a stream and then don't use my mic properly.
No, it was perfect. You know what though? This has been like the best stream, because I was like, I'm gonna totally just rely on Nick to know all of the technical things, and I will cover the news, and it paid off so well.
Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad you had some pools.
There we go. Yeah, did you figure it out?
I figured out how to get an environment variable.
Yeah.
I will show you. It's a little, it's certainly strange. So yeah, let's go back to, so you can see my screen, I guess.
Yeah, we can see your screen again.
Okay, so process.m.port, that's the typical way that you would get a port. With Dino, it's actually Dino, which VS Code loves to autocorrect to something other than Dino. And then it's like, what was it? And get port.
Weird.
So the problem here, what's that?
That's so weird. Why would they go and use something totally different?
They seem to have a lot of stuff like that. So like dino.m.get, dino.m.toObject. I'm not sure. They probably have a great reason for it, but one problem with this is I can't run that code in both Bun and Dino. Because this is Dino specific, right? But maybe I can do this. So now this is our TypeScript file, not our JavaScript file, because we needed that for Dino.
No.
Yeah, so it doesn't like the Dino stuff. Let's see if we can just cheat.
No.
Nope.
So just copy.
Yeah,
so just copy it over. Just like make another copy
Okay.
and run. Like just do like a TS file and a JS file.
Not a bad idea. All right, so we got a dino.env. We've got a bun. Okay, let's give that a shot.
I mean, hopefully. All right, seems
A bun.
okay. That's working.
Hey.
Hey, there we go. We got there. Nice, nice.
Okay, so now let's see if this works. That's it. Is the
Localhost 3, localhost 4.
So this is running on localhost 4000.
Mm-hmm. They're server running. Oh, they're both on 4000.
Are they?
I think so. Hold on, go back. Yeah.
Oh, they both have the same peer.
Yeah. Oh, you just got to switch it around in one of them.
Yeah, and so we know what these are now anyway. So Bun is running on 3000, so this can be 4000. And then Dino is running on 4000, so it can be 3000. Gotcha.
There we go. Nice. We got 4 and 3. There we go. So that should still not.
Weird.
Interesting.
Oh,
4
that's
is
4,000.
working. Okay, so it's obviously.
Did I lose you again?
No, we're here. We're here.
Yeah, so I think we're close.
We're almost there. Yeah, so what's going on in the actual sample that we have?
In the code?
Yeah. So what's happening right now? So we're getting, what's the error that you're seeing in the browser? Error sending request play. Oh, okay.
I think it's just the server's not actually running. So if we do that.
But it wasn't working on localhost 3000, right?
Right. So
that's weird. Why is it not?
Yeah, that is weird.
Why is it
so I
running on
wonder
one and not the other?
it was working on 3000.
Mm-hmm. Everything that you had in there made sense.
It's in there.
Okay.
Your server play, it might be having trouble with. So that would be 4,000 play. Doesn't play doesn't work. Why would that be?
So it's definitely running.
Oh wait, this isn't running either. Man. Okay.
No. Okay.
Okay, so they both. That's
both-
weird. It's.
But if you got a 4,000 start, did you figure it out?
I think there might be an issue with like Bun trying to connect to Dino. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. If
Like,
you run
okay,
on if you run on localhost 4000, go back and go to your browser, run on localhost 4000, and run start, and it does run, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that might have nothing to do with 3000. Oh no, it does. Okay, so Dino's able to talk to Bun, but Bun's not able to talk to Dino.
Mm.
Yeah. Interesting. So then for kicks, if I change this. Then I ran this with Bun.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. So it's a weird Bun not being able to talk to Dino issue. I mean, listen, that's the first issue that we've come across with Bun. So.
Yeah, and sorry, my dog's.
No, he's got to go out.
But so I wonder if that has to do with like Dino's security model, right? Like they might just be shutting it down so that like that's not accessible from outside of its own like runtime.
That actually makes
And
sense.
I'm sure there's a way to set it that so that it can be, but yeah, I bet you that's what's it.
I love that. I mean, I think that kind of speaks, right? These use cases, right? Like Bun, very useful, very generally useful. But if you're looking for these security features, I think there's something to be said that Dino does provide that out of the box, which is a nice then especially in the climate that we're in right now with all of the security issues that people are having, I think there's nothing wrong with using a runtime that gives you a little bit more security than you had before. So I mean, I think we've rolled all of pulled all of the luck cards for your Wi-Fi at this point. We've got not only through 2 frameworks, we were able to actually get your sample code that ChatGPT made work, and we were able to like vamp for long enough. So what's your kind of final say on these two, Bun or Dino or Node.js? What should people go for, Nick?
Oh, I don't want to do that.
This is the thing that I clicked. No, what do you think? Like, is it a use case thing? Do you think?
Yeah, I'd say like Bun. I would recommend that anyone mess around with Bun if what they really want to do is just like play with code. Like it's the easiest way to get going. Like if you just want to write code, make sure that you have good tests for it and like bundle it, then, or if you want to play with TypeScript without having to worry about the complexities of setting it up yourself, go for it. I think the same can be said of Dino, but the difference that we saw there is that like Dino does have its own kind of native objects that you need to interact with, whereas Bun doesn't. So like there's just less friction with Bun there. But I'm pretty impressed with both of them. But yeah, Bun I think took the cake.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good. I totally agree with you. I think it's a use case thing. Try it out. It's very cool. They both worked really, really well. And Nick, like, way to go. Way to get ChatGPT to write something great, but also what an awesome kind of review of these 2 really cool runtimes. I'm excited. This is actually a really powerful stream. So if you're watching this, if you're catching the end, like go and watch this from the beginning. It's only like an hour and worth it just to kind of see how these two runtimes stack up against each other, because I think it's a really cool, what we were able to accomplish in a really short period of time should show you what you can accomplish with these 2. So definitely check them out. Amazing. So folks, if you are like, we love this stream, I want to see more of it, Nick and I will be back next month with another one of these, maybe more. If you love these streams, we'll do them more, but with another DevTools DevCools. What will it be on? We don't know, because we don't know what the hype will be. I think the answer today was the hype is worth it around Bun and around Dino, so check them out. They could really be helpful for you, but we'll be back again to look at some of the really cool thanks, SRX Loco. Yeah, thanks so much for checking out the stream. I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm going to be streaming with Will from One Signal again. We're going to be looking at some integration stuff, playing around with React again, because that's just my life now. I just need to accept that this is my fate. And then of course we'll be back for some other really great streams, some really exciting things coming up. And yeah, Nick, honestly, every time we stream on here, I love this. DevTools DevCools, by far my favorite stream of all the streams that I do. We get to have so much fun and play some really cool tech here. So yeah, I'm excited for our next one of these.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for supporting all the dead air when I was trying to get my Wi-Fi working.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to talk to us more, you can always find us over on Discord. So you can find the link to join us over there, bit.ly/DevCycle Discord. We're constantly rolling out new features. If you're not sure who DevCycle is, you end up on the channel. We're a feature flag management platform. So if you want to learn more about that, it's not the stream for you, but check us out there. Yeah, really excited to see you around the DevCycle community. And we will see you next time here on Twitch. Bye, everybody.